Peace, family, and we are now live. We are in a button fell off somewhere on my music thing. We are in the month of June, the so-called month of June. That's what they tell us. Time is going by fast. I have an absolutely incredible show for y'all tonight. I have an absolute incredible announcement for y'all tonight. Everything changes tonight after the show. After this announcement, I have the perfect person to talk today. So let's get to a quick commercial. I'm gonna let y'all get yourselves together. Let's get to a quick commercial from the brother King Simon, and we're gonna be right back and we're gonna get this thing started. Make sure you hit the like button, that's important. Also, make sure you tell your friends and family that we are live. I think that tonight's show is something everybody could benefit from. What this sister's getting ready to drop. So it's gonna be a good one, y'all. Get comfortable. Be right back in about 30 seconds.
Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You could also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King Simon the Numerovator.
All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
I just had to go turn my air up.
It's all good. Indeed. Well, without further ado, I want to welcome back to the platform, Sister Myrah Moss. Welcome back, Queen.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure.
Indeed. Good to have you here. Definitely good to have you here. I want to start out with a announcement. I know everybody's not in the room yet. I'll make it again later in the show, but I want to start out with an announcement about a major, the biggest event in conscious community history is going down August 10th and 11th in Georgia, and I want everybody to be a part of it. A lot of people have been asking for in-person events, since 2020 and COVID. The world went digital online, and I've been doing a lot of online seminars and workshops, but everybody's been asking for an in-person event. When I do have in-person event, people say, oh, we need more time. We need more days. I put together the last Gathering of Masters I did, y'all, was in 2018. I'm bringing it back. This is the biggest lineup, one of the biggest lineups you will ever see. It's going to be the electricity, the energy in the building. This is going to be at the New Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia. It's a beautiful new venue that is owned by a black billionaire. I forget the gentleman's name, but this is going to be absolutely incredible. We got the Queens on Saturday, August 10th. The main speakers are Sister Myrah Moss, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, Queen of Four. The next day, the main speakers are Dr. Be Serious, Yaki Awaken, and Isaiah the Duke of Tears. Family, everybody's coming out to this. No, this ain't no replay. Somebody asking if this replay. I want y'all to keep in mind this is a live event. This is an in-person event. Tickets will get sold out if you wait long. There's limited. This is not online where it's unlimited bandwidth. There's limited amount of seatings for people here. Don't wait to the last minute. Don't come to the door without your ticket. You're gonna be very mad if you come into town and you can't attend. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at the people at the door. Somebody said no 7. I'm surprised. 7 is not even in the country. And I talked to 7. He's not in the country. He's in Costa Rica. So you shouldn't be surprised. He hasn't been in the country in a long time. So yeah, 7 is not even in the country. But family, these are the main speakers. Also in the building, there will be Infodishi's is going to be in the building. Vending with products. Brother Bedell is going to be in the building. Roz Ben will be in the building. Hank Rising Son will be in the building. Minister Jew will be in the building. I got to reach out to Aquarius Maximus. I didn't reach out to her yet, but I'm sure she's already in Atlanta, so I'm sure she'll be able to make it. But Soleil will be in the building. Professor Griff will be in the building. A.A. Rashid will be in the building. Red pill will be to build it. Blue pill will be to build it. KT, the arts degree, will be to build it. Brother Sharif Bey will be to build it. Everybody is going to be in the building that day. It took a lot for me to pull this off, family. And I do mean a lot of planning, a lot of scheduling, a lot of making sure everybody's on the same page. This is the biggest event Brother Rich has done in his life. I don't know if I'm going to do an event of this magnitude again like this, because I'm doing more original programming and I'm getting more into music. But I don't want anybody to miss this one. This is the event of our lifetime. The weekend price for both days is $111. It's $55 a day. It's as cheap as it's going to get for this big of a lineup. This is a monster lineup. This is humongous lineup. This is the lineup of all lineups. Somebody says when it is. The date is on the screen. August 10th and August 11th is going down. Doors open up at 12:30 in the afternoon each day. We will be wrapping up at 9 p.m. each day. You do not want to miss this, family. I know it's a bargain price. I'm banking on that y'all gonna support me. That's how I'm able to get this price this low. It's as cheap. I might even change the price, y'all. I might even change, because I mean it's such a good price right now. Such a good price. But it's an amazing lineup. I'm making an announcement with this sister here, Myrah. I want to start out by thanking her. Myrah doesn't go around the country speaking many places. So this is a rare event to have her. Drew Pookrum doesn't go around speaking many places. You don't see the Duke of Tears or Yak. These people don't go around everywhere. It's rare that you catch speaking in public like this, especially in a conference like this. You do not want to miss this, family. You do not. Trust me. To get tickets in person right now, there's no live stream. We're only doing tickets for yeah, I know. Yeah, so the price is good because they're exactly the big reason I made the price so good is because I know people have to spend money traveling, and they got to spend money on hotels, and they're gonna want to support the vendors when they get there. So I had to take all of this into consideration. This is like a $300 event, but I had to take all of that into consideration when making the price. So yeah, that's why it's a killer price, because I took all of that into consideration. I don't want everybody to spend all their money on a ticket, then they get there and they can't, I want everybody to have a good time. This is more than just a speaking engagement. This is networking. This is about community. I'm going to start a Discord group for everybody who buys tickets. We're going to be, because that way everybody will know each other by the time y'all get to the event. Oh, you so-and-so in the Discord. Oh, you so-and-so in the Discord. Hey, what's up? I've been talking to you about that in Discord. So we're going to have a Discord for 2 months leading up to the event. So by the time we all there, we all know each other. This is it. This is the biggest thing Brother Rich has ever done. We're going to start the show now. I want to thank the main speakers for speaking. Everybody else that's going to be in the building with their products, networking, doing readings. I mean, you name it, they're going to be doing it. And I mean, it's Sister Myrah. I'm so proud of this one. This is the biggest I've ever done it. This is so.
I know it's going to be magnificent. It's going to be magnificent. Hey. Oh, yeah. It's because this is what time it is. It's time for this, this sort of thing. And like you said, in person, rather than, most of us been doing, online, but it's been so long, and it's in tune with what the energy is about, because it's now time for us to come back full circle, so this is the way we used to do it, when it was Bobby Hammond and all of us. We used to do those live lectures. That's the only way. You guys with the Zooms and all, that's new for us.
Yeah. What was the Hammond Summit? Was that what it was?
Yeah, the Hammond Summit. That's when I had my debut.
Right. The Hammond Summit. Yeah.
Yes, that's when I got my debut. So, but that's the only way we used to present then. I was living on the East Coast at the time. And so the East Coast was my circuit, where I go everywhere from New York to Florida as far as live in-person presentations. So Indeed. That's what I'm most familiar with. I don't think this thing is working anyway. That's what I'm most familiar with. So
Oh yeah, you're gonna be in your element on this one. You're gonna be in your element.
Yeah, we're going back to old school.
Shout out to everybody. I seen y'all started buying tickets for this event. Yeah, I see. Got my ticket. Shout out to once again, family, and we're about to get started with the show. This is in person. Tickets will be sold out. The seats are not unlimited amount of seats like they are on the internet. There's only a limited amount of seats for people to sit there. I don't want y'all to be mad coming to town and not, but so get your ticket as soon as possible. The sooner the better. And I want y'all to get your tickets. We're doing a Discord group. So everybody who gets their tickets tomorrow, the Discord starts tomorrow. So everybody will be in the Discord tomorrow and we're going to be chatting, chilling. All right, let's start the show. Sister Myrah, check it out. What a year so far, 2024. The year started. I remember last year on my show, you was talking to us about the K's, Kanye and Kendrick.
Yes.
You remember Kendrick and Kyrie? Was it Kyrie?
Yes, Kyrie,
now,
Kendrick Lamar and what was it? Kanye, Kendrick, and Kyrie. Yeah.
Right.
Those were the three.
So they started out with another case, Sister Myrah. Cat Williams. And he said Cat Williams.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
The year started out with Cat Williams.
Yeah.
And
we're in that time. That's the time.
He said everybody was going to get exposed this year.
Yes.
He said a lot of people were going to get exposed.
Yes.
And that's what's been going on.
That is exactly what's going on. Exposure time. This is time for exposure. Yeah.
What's the deal with that? What's the deal with the energy of exposure? Also, something I mentioned to you on the phone. I feel as though a lot of people get into the spiritual information because they don't have a teacher in person like how it was back in your day, like Bobby Hemmett, you and Bobby, Bobby taught you certain things or whatever. Yes. They're going into this information and they're just making things up, and they're going. Some of them, they're mentally and psychologically not ready for the information.
Absolutely.
So it's becoming almost a little dangerous for a lot of people, and they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. They're misusing it. They're hurting themselves. They're hurting others. So there's a lot going on in the energy. Sister Myrah Star now with the exposure, and also with people needing to, I guess, have more guidance with using this spiritual information. Let's have a great conversation, Sister Myrah. Go ahead, Queen.
Yes, it's time for us to step up to our magic. You're absolutely right. But we do have to be responsible in how we use that magic and perform our rituals. One of the first things that you have to know about doing your rituals is that whatever you send back don't send anything out that you don't want to receive back. Spirit is spiral, and we're energy transmitters as well as receivers. It's what we send out as to what we spiral back. So whatever we're sending out, we have to be prepared to receive it back in return. That's one of the first elemental lessons to learn when you start practicing your rituals and practicing your magic, is that don't send anything out that you don't want to receive back, because spirit is spiral. What you're transmitting is what you're going to spiral back to you. So make sure it's something you want to do that you want to come back to you. And also, you do need to know what you're doing. You need to do know what you're doing when you do these rituals, because there you got to be very responsible. I keep telling people it's no longer like when we're operating our mind, it's like we no longer can operate at the level of an automobile. We now have to operate at the level of a locomotive, which means we have to be much more conscientious what we're doing with our thoughts. That's how we're going to energize. That's how we maneuver, through how we think, through our imagination. So being responsible for what you are energizing and contributing to the energy bank is what you have to be aware of. So, and it's really definitely in line with the topic we're speaking on tonight. But first, I'm going to start with the energy we're in. Anytime you're dealing with the sun sign, you're dealing with focus. Wherever the sun sign is at is what we're here to focus through. So right now we're here to focus through Gemini. And there's a reason Gemini connects to this topic of what we're ready to focus on when it comes to our energy. This is information and that I did, as a matter of fact, when you talk about personal lectures, Brother Rich, I did this here. It's called the Gemini Gateway, and I probably have given it a couple of times, but it's really in link or in line with what we want to talk about tonight, starting with the Gemini energy that the sun is focused through in the universe. So it says here it's called the Gemini Gateway into a new reality of creative rulership. Creative rulership. That is the topic here, because Leo is the sign of creative rulership, because the planetary ruler of Leo is the sun. And we're going to look at not just the energy, but we're going to look at the planetary energy that's connected with those signs. So the planetary ruler of Leo is the sun. And this is what this is all about. That's the sign, that's the energy of creative rulership. So it says here on August the 11th, now this is the Gemini Gateway, on August 11th, 1999, there was a fixed cross in the universe, demonstrated by most of the planets sitting in the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. Leo opposite Aquarius, and Taurus opposite Scorpio. This fixed cross was symbolic of the cross of crucifixion, indicating a reversal of energy from the physical to a spiritual rotation. It is time for daughter Earth to become a sacred planet, which means she must become holistic. In order to do this, she must now shake off the parasites. Anyone who is not contributing their energy at the rate that they are taking is considered a parasite. There's nothing inherently bad as being off balance that causes friction, you guys. When you're off balance, you have abuse on one half and neglect on the opposite half. You have someone taking energy in a partnership without returning it at the rate they're taking it. That's like trying to blow up a balloon with a hole in it. You have to be able to give it back at the rate you take it in order to keep the relationship healthy. You have to be able to return energy at the rate that you take energy. So it says here, on that day, the focus of the sun was in Leo. Leo is the sign of creative rulership, which meant that it was time to reverse rulership from the material to a creative rotation. Each time the sun entered one of those fixed signs, there was a teardown of the material rulership demonstrated by the element of that sign. Leo, being the fixed fire sign, unleashed the element of fire to tear down the material kingdom. The next fixed sign the sun entered was Scorpio. Being a water element, there was water energy tearing down the material kingdom. On to the fixed air sign of Aquarius, and finally the fixed earth sign of Taurus. After 4 cycles or rotations of the sun through these fixed signs, all the energy had been released to completely tear down the material kingdom. Then, on November the 8th, 2003, there was another configuration of planets representing the Star of David, symbolizing that it was now time to release the energy for the royal family to step up to this new rulership for the new age of healing the wounds of Willie Lynch. The Star of David gave a complete breakdown of the royal family, father and mother at the first level, brother and sister at the second level, and daughter and son at the third level, and how those wounds needed to be healed. The Star of David was sitting on its side, to show those 3 levels. However, the universe is about balance, and the only way to heal the royal family of those wounds of Willie Lynch, those who inflicted the wounds would now have to pay their karmic debt. This was symbolized by the winter solstice, or December 21st, which is Saturn energy, or the return of the father, or the return of the king. our Father's spirit of the universe. The Father is returning to avenge the abuse of Mama Universe's love for her family as the daughter Earth's deprivation of her value. The Father's righteous cause, because anytime we're dealing with the Father, we're dealing with the air element, which is righteous thinking. The Father's righteous cause would be accomplished through the power of the Sun, S-U-N. So as the Sun entered the sign of Gemini, this is where we're at now in Gemini. This Gemini is the sign of duality. Gemini represents the gateway of physical illusion versus spiritual reality. Before we can access the source of power from Mama Universe, symbolic of the Cancer energy at the summer solstice, it will be necessary to prove that we can discern the difference between what is real and what is an illusion. We will not be allowed to straddle the fence any longer. You don't blend energy. We will have to receive the return of the Mama holistically. It is not meant to save this illusionary material kingdom. This is why the patriotic spirit is being revived by the powers that have been to overcome the regenerative power of the Mama. Only then can we return to Leo as the now healed rulers of this new creative spiritual kingdom that is ready to blossom for the Aquarian age. I couldn't find the chart that I did for the cross of crucifixion, but I did find the cross that I did for that November 8th when we had the Star of David. So I give you a little, let me see if I can put this up here for you to be able to see. Yeah, it's like this. It's like the Star of David was sitting on its side. So you can see the levels. You see the bottom level. See if I can do this. I'm not very, okay, the bottom level, the father and the mama. The middle level, the brother, the sister, and the highest level, the son and the daughter. So that's what that cross of crucifixion was looking like. The masculine planets, the masculine influence was in the it was in the water energy for love, and the feminine planets were in the earth. So I don't know if how you can see. I've got blue for the water and green for the earth. Right. So how that Star of David was energizing, how it was. This is how this energy looked on that day, November the 8th, 2003. Because when we had the cross of crucifixion, all the energy was being released to tear down the material kingdom. And then after 4 rotations or 4 years releasing the energy to tear down the material kingdom is when we got that Star of David on November the 8th, 4 years afterwards, after all the energy had been released to tear down that material kingdom or the illusionary kingdom. It started on August 11th in the fixed fire of Leo. And that meant that the reversal, because the fixed cross is what reverses energy from the cardinal cross, Aries opposite Libra, Cancer opposite Capricorn, is the cardinal signs or the royal energy that is now ready. We're now ready to step up to a new royal rulership in the Aquarian age. A royal rulership was activated by the cardinal cross, Aries opposite Libra, Cancer opposite Capricorn. That's the cardinal cross that brings the royal energy to the table. Now, I want you to realize you have all that energy in you. You have a full universe of energy within you. And, you know, what you're most focused on is your sun sign, but the sun sign, that's exactly what it is. It's where you come in here to focus through, but you have all the energy within you. So all these cross levels involve your energy. So, and how we're being influenced from these 3 cross levels from the highest vibrations of the universe. So the cross of crucifixion on August the 11th, the focus was through the Leo sun And since the fixed cross, I call them the four horses of the apocalypse. That's Aquarius opposite Leo and Taurus opposite Scorpio. Those are the four fixed signs, which I call the cross of crucifixion. That's here to reverse the energy from a mundane physical illusion of power to a spiritual, creative, and royal empowerment. And it's the fixed cross that enforces this reversal of energy from a mundane physical illusion of power to a spiritual, creative, and royal empowerment. It's the fixed cross that does that heavy work. They, like the army, are the enforcers. So that's what the cross of crucifixion on August 11th, because it was focused through Leo, it was indicating it's now time to reverse rulership, because Leo is the sign of creative rulership. So time to reverse the energy from a mundane physical illusion of power to a spiritual, creative, and royal empowerment. And so it's the fixed cross that has activated that reversal, because we'll start with Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of evolution. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. Aquarius is the sign of evolution, and it's opposite. You guys know I call myself a holistic. This means I don't believe in 12 individual signs anymore. I believe in 6 axes of energy. It's not until you put the two halves together that you have the whole, or holistic. If it's not whole, it's not real. Anytime you're looking at a part of the whole, that is the illusion. There is a universal purpose being fulfilled. In order for us to participate in this holistic purpose, we have to be holistic as we step up, to participate with the fulfillment of this universal purpose that is now coming into fruition. So I don't believe in 12 individual signs. I believe in 6 axes of energy. It's not until you put the two halves together that you have the whole. The whole crutch to the universe is balance. Balance is the key to everything. There has to be an opposite reflection, equal. Energy only unfolds through a negative and positive polarity. No pain, no gain. To the same extent the pain will be the same extent the gain, or it's always the darkest before the dawn, which means we have to completely get through the worst to get to the best. My favorite is as bad as it's been, is as good as it's about to get. You see, that balance of opposites is the crutch to everything, and understanding everything in holistic manner. Because it's not until you put those two halves together that you can see the whole. And we've only been in the physical half. We've been in the, what you call the sacrificial struggle half of this operation on the physical half of this universal purpose that's now being fulfilled to evolve rulership to a new level. So in order to do that, we have to balance energy. We have to complete one half. Energy can only go 180 degrees before it has to be balanced with the opposite 180 degrees. So to complete that full 360-degree spiral, that is how you open up that vortex for access to the next level energy vibration. So that is the formula of creation. Every time you balance opposites is how you create the whole, 180 degrees on each half, producing a 360-degree vortex for access to the next level energy vibration. We're talking levels, you guys, not time. A multitude of levels from one end to the opposite end, balancing polarities. That's just how energy unfolds. Negative and positive polarity. No pain, no gain. Sacrifice and reward. Anywhere you balance opposites is how you see the whole. So it's now time. That's just the way energy unfolds. It takes so many cycles before it completes certain purposes. And right now we're at the end of a major cycle, balancing Father's spirit with Mama's soul in order to become whole or holistic. That means we're completing the external masculine half. Everything did start matriarchal. That's antiquity. That's mama's domain, the soul realm. So everything started in matriarchal, which is the earth element and the water element, particularly the water for the mama component, the ancients of ancients, and then the earth component for the daughter. Remember, you guys, it's not Mother Earth, it's Daughter Earth. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to be able to see the whole picture. It's Mother, it's Mama Universe and Daughter Earth. All souls come in through Mama Universe and are manifested, materialized through Daughter Earth, the earth element. Father Spirit, Son of Power, Mama Universe, Daughter Earth. That's the full family of energy at the royal highest level of vibration. We are the individual aspects of that highest royal family of energy at ground level, or the boots on the ground. So now it's time for balance. You don't blend energy. That's what most of us don't understand, is you do not blend energy, you harmonize energy. That means you have to complete one half before you activate the opposite half in response in equal measure. And we've been in the sacrificial struggle, physical half, illusionary half of this operation, not just this lifetime, for many, many lifetimes. You know, this is an infinite process, transformation, regeneration for evolution of a spiritual rulership. So we've been under this illusionary physical half, sacrificial struggle for many, many lifetimes. But all our sacrifice and struggle has only been our investment in what's now ready to pay off in equal measure in spiritual reward and spiritual empowerment. It has to be matched to the equality that we've sacrificed and struggled, now has to be matched to the reward and spiritual empowerment half of this operation. And now that gets us to that Gemini gateway, of being able to discern between what's illusionary versus what's reality in spirit. So that Gemini gateway, that is, we're going to look at the first astrological quarter, where we got Aries, the warrior, and then we got Taurus, the sign of values, and we got Gemini, the sign of seeing through the illusion or discernment. So the warrior, Aries, who defends and protects the value, Taurus, of seeing through the illusion. So Gemini. So that's where we get that first quarter of that astrological cycle under that belt. And as Brother Rich, as you started talking about in the beginning, when I did the 3 Ks, because the 3 Ks were demonstrating how when we hit the Aries energy, that it is where our spiritual warriors are going to come in to ground level and use certain vessels to activate this spiritual warfare, Aries, the warrior, the spiritual warfare at ground level. Or, you know, and another thing I like to make clear is that when we did talk about the 3 Ks, you know, when they use these vessels, they just use the 3 Ks as an example of how this process is going to operate. You don't look at it personally. In other words, you don't hold on to these 3 people as if you're following Jesus Christ. You're looking at each individual who was the vessel for that energy at the time to be used for the purpose that was needed at ground level in that spiritual energy. It's not like that spiritual energy is going to stay with that vessel for all times. It's going to be used for a certain purpose at a certain time. So it's not personal. Don't look at these people on a personal level. We cannot judge them on a personal level as to when they're being used as a vessel to serve a purpose that spirit needs to be served. It needs a vessel. You know, the spirit needs a vessel just as much as the vessel needs the spirit. There's a new spiritual warfare unfolding on the physical level, and now the spirits is identifying the spiritual vessels that best fit the energy that is needed at the time to use that vessel to manifest that cause. So it's not something you're going to look at these three guys and look at everything they do and judge them for what they do, because you can't accept them as a vessel for spirit because you don't like their personal energy. That is not the way it's supposed to work, you see. Once they have done their work that the spirit has used them as a vessel for, they go back to their own personal work and whatever it is that they're doing and contributing in their energy. So we don't judge people personally when they're being used as a vessel, because they're just the ones that were vibrating at a level that was conducive to what needed to be done physically and manifested, and that was those vessels that was chosen for that cause. But spirit is a constant. It's a constant. It's not gonna stop just at three vessels. I mean, it's just going to do that for any vessel that is demonstrating that energy. So the first six signs are physical. Right. So, and the second six signs are spiritual. Neither one is no higher or lower than the other. Balance is the key to everything. Spirit needs a vessel just as much as the vessel needs the spirit. So now we're manifesting through the vessels at the physical level, ground level, from Aries through Virgo. Those are where we're going to manifest spiritual energy as the physical vessels for that energy. So with the Gemini gateway, the metaphysical movies, you'll see the warrior, Aries, trying to get through the twin towers, the twin gateways. That's the Gemini gateway. They're trying to get through the twin towers, but they have to only get through that towers in discernment. They have to be able to discern what's real spiritually versus what's false in the illusion. We've been programmed in the illusion, especially mentally, because the air element is part of the masculine external, which deals with the mind. So we've been programmed in false values in the illusion. And now it's time to see reality, to see the whole. It's not real until it's whole. It's only until we reach the Aquarian age that we're able to see the whole, because Aquarius is the sign of evolution. Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian, and Aquarius is the sign of I know. So that's what's taking dominance in this message here, is that fixed cross, and especially the vertical leg of the fixed cross. Getting through the Gemini gateway it's like crossing from one half to the opposite half, because we're crossing from the Western hemisphere symbolically, and that energy to from the Eastern hemisphere to the Western hemisphere as we move from Gemini to Cancer. So the first three signs represented that Eastern hemisphere, and then the next three signs is going to be on the Western half. So it's like crossing over, where the cardinal fire, Aries, the cardinal fire. Anytime we're dealing with the sun, we're dealing with the fire, we're dealing with the sun. And anytime we're dealing with the sun, we're dealing with the fire or the power. So the cardinal fire, Aries, represents the royal or the royal son or the prince of the royal family, who is who has rulership over Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And then where we come in as that warrior, defending the value of being able to discern between what's real spiritually and what's false in the illusion. That's Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Then the prince, the cardinal fire, then passes the baton to the queen, the cardinal water. Now we're dealing with Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Those are the next three signs at the physical half of this operation. So when the sun activates this warrior power, defend the value of seeing through the illusion. Then is when he passed that baton to the queen, Cancer, Kali Ma. When we're dealing with Kali Ma, Cancer, we're dealing with, the mama, who's very ferocious and vicious about protecting her family, her royal family. This is the last cycle before evolution. So everything's being enhanced in this cycle. So as the queen now receives the baton from the prince, Cardinal Water, Cancer, ruling over, like I said, Leo and Virgo. And like you said, if you're looking at Cancer by itself, we're looking at Kali Ma, very ferocious energy, protecting her family, her royal, ancient, universal, melanated family. That is the mama's role. But when you put Leo and Virgo together, you have segment. When you put Leo and Virgo together, which is the most destructive energy universally. They can only release her at the end times. Her thirst for blood is so ferocious to clean it up, to clean up the earth. They have to trap her back into captivity once she's done her job, segment. And that's a combination of Leo and Virgo. So we got Kali Ma, Leo, and Virgo in that second quarter of the astrological cycle. This is the one that is most prominent in what's going on right now. You see, as we're getting ready to pass that baton into the Cancer or the mama, that's dealing with the ancestors. Anytime you're dealing with Cancer energy, you're dealing with the ancestors. That's family ancestry, your family ancestors. This has been a family operation because when you were an energy being, and you chose your mission and your purpose. You chose your purpose and your mission as an energy being. But when you fell into the flesh, you forgot your mission and your purpose. But your spirit didn't forget. And your spirit is the one that will pave the way to open the path for you to walk the path where you will be confronted with the challenges of fulfilling your spiritual purpose and destiny, so you can see your capability to overcome those challenges for your growth, so that you can line back up with your spirit. Your spirit is going to do this through each lifetime. It's going to help you master in the purpose that you chose. Each lifetime you mastered in the purpose you chose to contribute. You've done this each lifetime. The first lifetime you mastered. Through guidance from your spirit, you mastered in the purpose you chose. But that's like only one piece of the puzzle. Doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't understand it. One piece of the puzzle, but it gave you access to the next lifetime where you continued your mastery for that purpose. And it was like your second piece of the puzzle. You did this. Indeed. You did this each lifetime. You only complete spirals for access to the next level where you start a new one at a higher vibration. So you did this each lifetime till we got to this lifetime where we went into the Aquarius age. Anytime we go into the Aquarian age, it's time for evolution. And because of that holistic balance, you don't talk about one sign without its opposite. So going into the Aquarian age for our evolution, you're going to balance that with Leo, the opposite sign of Aquarius. You're going to balance Aquarius age with Leo, the creative rulership. So it's time to evolve a new creative rulership out of an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. As the ancient rulers, our ancestors, are now passing us the baton as the new age rulers to evolve from an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. And when we're talking about the evolution with Aquarius and Leo, Leo is the energy of the sun. Leo represents exposure. Anytime we're dealing with the sun, we're dealing with exposure. Now everything is being exposed in this evolutionary process so we can identify, because spiritual energy has to be manifested in order to identify the impurities days in order to cleanse of those impurities, in order for us to heal and step up as the new rulers for this new Aquarian age. We've been wounded by the physical family.
Oh, yeah.
We've been wounded by the physical family. Those wounds have been generationally passed down. Mm-hmm. Now we're at this generation where the buck stops here, where those wounds that the chosen ones are carried the brunt of that family wounding, because you took your mission as a family unit. But now you're seeing the brunt of those woundings being exposed in this last cycle through the vessels that were the sacrificial lamb for the family, because no longer are we going to be allowed to pass these wounds to the next generation. The buck stops here.
The generational curses end.
Absolutely. This is time to end the generational curses. But see, it's all just an alchemical process. Yeah. Wounding by the physical half, the physical family, the step family, so it can balance out in healing. As we cross over into the opposite half, now we're going to bring the opposite spiritual family ancestry, our ancestry from the family of antiquity that had those powers. Now it's time to access our ancient ancestral family powers that we have to go into the subconscious, the soul realm to access. Right now it's time to balance between the conscious realm, that's the realm we've been in, the air and fire, the external, the masculine, and now we're at 179 degrees. Energy can only go 180 degrees before it has to be balanced with the opposite 180 degrees. So right now we're at what's that?
Right there, 179. Yeah,
we're at 179. And that means we've reached the maximum of this half of the operation, which is what we know. Now we've reached the maximum of what we need to know. We know everything we need to know. Aquarius, the Aquarian age, we've reached our maximum of knowing. Father, the air element, brings information to the table, but Mama is the one who serves it up, you see. So we've completed the half of knowing. We just put a pin in that so we can hop the fence. We don't straddle the fence, remember? We don't blend energy. So we have to hop the fence to Mama's half, and to complete one half before we activate the opposite half in equal measure. That is where we connect to the subconscious realm, the soul realm. The interest into our akashic records, our ancient memory, our ancestral family. They had powers. They could fly. They could breathe underwater. They could talk telepathically with the plants, the animals, the universe, each other. We still have those powers. However, they're subconscious. And we've been in the conscious realm. Those are opposites. Two opposites can't occupy the same space at the same time. So we had to complete one half, the conscious knowing, in order now to access the subconscious balance to complete that full 360 spiral. That's how we open up that ultimate vortex and evolve to the next level in spiritual rulership. That is why everything is being exposed. That's the Leo half of that Aquarius and Leo axis of energy. Everything is being exposed. So because Aquarius is the sign of I know, which means you got to know who you are in order to activate that power. Leo is the creative powers, and Aquarius is the sign of I know. I know I am a creative ruler in order to activate that rulership. If you don't know it, you don't have it. You have to know your power in order to activate your power. That is what the Aquarius and Leo axis of energy is bringing to the table. Us coming into our knowing. Everything is being exposed so we can come into the knowing of who we are, so we can step up to the power of knowing who we are as the new creative rulers for the Aquarian age. Now the ancient rulers, our ancestors, are passing us the baton to step up as that and those new rulers. But Aquarius, Go ahead.
Let me take a break real quick. I just want to announce. I just want to
Sure. Yes.
touch on the event
Yes.
for the family who came in late. Wow. I mean, wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is why I got you on it. Yo, I'm gonna tell you, Myrah, I can't wait to see you speak in person. For those who came in late, Myrah's gonna be in Atlanta August 10th. We're having a conference August 10th and 11th, and Myrah will be speaking August 10th. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for everybody to see Myrah in person. Let me just share this flyer. The link. This is an in-person event. People were asking, "Is this a live stream?" This is in person. I may have a live stream available later on, but right now, the tickets that I have available are for in person. For those who are able to attend in Atlanta, let me just share this on the screen real quick. For those who came in late, if you came in late, you missed it, y'all. The biggest event I've ever seen. Biggest event. I mean, this is it right here, y'all. Saturday, August 10th, from 12:30 to 9 p.m. We got Dr. Jewel Pulcrum, Sister Myrah Moss, and Queen of Fua. Those are just the main speakers. The next day, Sunday, August 11th, 12:30 to 9, we got Dr. B Sirius, Isaiah the Duke of Tears, and Yaki Awaken. Family, when I tell y'all this is powerful, you know how we see the cosmic alignments in the sky? This is a cosmic alignment on daughter Earth. This is a cosmic alignment on daughter Earth. This is absolutely amazing. This is the biggest thing I've ever put together in my life. I made the ticket price is $111 for the entire weekend. I made it cheap enough for y'all to come to the event and still support the vendors, eat food, have a good time, hotels, flights, everything. This is the perfect event. When I put this together, I thought of the word perfection. I need everybody to make this event. And when I say everybody, I need everybody to see Sister Myrah in person, to see Dr. Jewel Pulcrum in person, to see Dr. B Sirius do his musical performance, his lecture in person, Yaki Awaken, one of the most electrifying speakers in the world in person. I see the Duke of Tears, one of the sharpest, brightest brothers in the world in person. This is as big as it's going to get. This is the first day I'm announcing it, so I'm extremely happy, extremely proud of just the ideas, the channel I got from the Cosmos to put this together. Also, we're about to get started right back with Sister Myrah. Also, these individuals will be in the building with products, services that you can meet, network. We're going to have Infodici in the building that weekend. We're going to have the brother B-Dell in the building that weekend. We're going to have Ross Ben, Hank Rise's son. We're going to have Soleil, Professor Griff, Minister Jew, A.A. Rashid, Red Pill, Blue Pill, KT the Arts Degree, Brother Sharif Bey. The best products in the world will be on display this weekend, Saturday, August 10th, and Sunday, August 11th. Let me say this again. The best products in the world will be on display this weekend. Somebody asked, our children allowed? Yes, but they will have to you still will have to pay for their ticket. There will be some type of age, but I'll talk to you about that later on. But this is it, y'all. This is the biggest thing. I want all y'all to come out. I can't wait to see Sister Myrah in person. It's an energy exchange you get from seeing all these individuals in person. And I want y'all to network and meet with each other. One thing we don't have because of the internet is community. Seating arrangements is first come, first serve. Get there early. Get your ticket early. Get there early. It's first come, first serve. Get there early so you can get a good seat. Will Rod Hayes be there? I don't know. I talked to the brother. I'm trying to get the brother to come there. That's a possibility. That is definitely a possibility. But family, the ticket, a link for the ticket is pinned at the top of the chat. I will share it again. But Sister Myrah will be there in person, dropping it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, somebody said like Sedona. It's going to be bigger than Sedona. It's going to be serious energy. It's going to be serious energy. And that's SIRIUS. That's serious. It's going to be serious energy in the building that weekend. Look forward to it. This is the first day I'm announcing it. Somebody said Bobby Hemmett is proud of me. I'm sure he is. Bobby Hemmett told me some magnificent things about myself when I was young. And I love what the brother brought to the game. I love what Sister Myrah. I played your Sister Myrah's recording before. She told me in 2005 what it was going to be. She told me I was going to meet my lady. She told me my lady was going to be a Sag. Sister Myrah told me it all. There's not many like her. So you better get your reading from the sister. You better support her, and you better be in Atlanta. There's not many like her. A once-in-a-lifetime individual. They don't make many of hers in a realm at one at a time. She comes around once in a while. This, you know what I'm saying? So, family, make sure you there this weekend. This is after the Lionsgate. So the energy is gonna be on 1,000, y'all. But make sure you're there this weekend. Everybody is going to be there. Everybody, y'all. So I can't wait to see y'all there. And with that said, Sister Myrah, you can continue doing your thing. I know a lot of people.
Wonderful. This is the last cycle. This is the last cycle, you guys. So what Brother Rich is inspired to do here, you know, he's been inspired to do this from a higher universal purpose, you know, and contribution to how it's now time to fulfill this major purpose. This is the last cycle, you see. So this is definitely and we'll be in that segment in Kali Ma energy, so and ancestral energy. It's time for the ancestors to show themselves, you know.
Yes,
it's time because Cancer is the energy of the ancestors.
Indeed.
And then they sit right next door. I know you guys remember, was it last year in Alabama? There was
the brawl.
That you know, what was that boat, Harriet, you know? Do you know that was just as we moved out of Cancer into Leo? So, and it was an exposing the ancestors now coming. It's time for the ancestors. And that's what that was exposing. I mean, because the boat was the Harriet and our ancestors came through, you guys. That's what was a demonstration of our ancestors stepping up and giving us the signal, you know, it's time for this spiritual warfare, you know, at the physical level. It's karma. It's karma time, you see. So ancestors being exposed. That's what we saw with that as it came out of the Cancer energy into the Leo. And Leo is always where the exposure at. And the reason we have to be in discernment, get through that Gemini gateway, is because Mama, the Cancer energy, ferocious, vicious, and she's not going to allow us access to Leo. Leo is where we tap into that creative powers at. So discernment through the Gemini gateway to cross into Mama's domain, and then Mama's going to sniff you out, going to make sure that you're not coming here in any type of pollution, any type of illusion, and then you get access to Leo, which is where we evolve in our creative powers to become the new rulers for this new creative rulership. All that is through that Leo and Aquarius axis of energy, and that's the energy we're going to be in for this occasion that Brother Rich is throwing for us, this gathering of the masters. That's how I got introduced, you know, through the gathering of the masters with Bobby Hammett. So this is all about a full circle. This is where we're coming full circle to what energy was the platform for the energy that we're now getting ready to step off into. So that is why he's been inspired to do this gathering of the masters, because that is where we left off, us elders, when we were doing our live lectures. That's what we were doing. The gathering of the masters was what was a major occasion at that time as well. So we've come full circle for that.
Indeed. Sister Myrah, does Mama Universe, when we have somebody getting exposed, like let's just use Diddy for an example.
Yes.
Does he, once he leave this realm, is it like some serious karma for him to face, a person that gets involved in those type of activities? Or did he just do his job? Like his job was to do that, do his dirt, but get exposed and you know, whatever. Like
in order for there to be the cleansing.
Yeah, in order for there to be the cleansing.
Everybody has a role. in contribution to the whole, you know, and some of us, if we don't have the negative polarity, then we don't have the balance as a response to that. That is why we can't really sit in judgment. Now, not trying to condone anything, but nobody can judge you from the external. You know, everything is about your partnership with your spirit. This is what we were talking, you know, me and Brother Rich were talking about when this subject came up, is how people are misusing, you know, their ritualistic powers, their magical powers. And this is about, and that was the question he asked me, you know, how do we give them guidance on how to use these powers that it's time for us to step up to? So that's one of the reasons he's looking at, you know, presenting this information so people can have some guidance on how to use this ritualistic power, because abusing that power is what you don't want to do, because we're evolving from an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment in this Aquarius process, you see. So some of us who have been called as a vessel to serve on the negative polarity is one of the reasons we don't sit in judgment, because we don't understand by looking only at the external as to what the internal purpose was. And it all has to work together, a negative and a positive polarity. And no pain, no gain. And we need the pain in order to expose the reflection. There's always an opposite reflection, one visible and one hidden. So yeah, I mean, I can't judge what role that Brother P. Diddy came in here to serve. Some of us did come in here to sacrifice our value. That's what happened with the physical family. The physical family chose, we made a contract with our physical family, who would play the role of the sacrificial lamb and who would play the role of the heavies in the family, who would give all the friction to that sacrificial lamb. So at this time, they would be the beneficiary of the energy in balance to gain the reward. Now they will become the chosen one for the family, and they will now access that energy from the cosmos in order to bring it back and serve the physical family who caused those wounds, so you can have the rewards as a result of those wounds. But once you move opposite your physical family to your cosmic family, where you access your powers and your reward, spirit is spiral, then you take that energy back to your physical family for their sake and their protection, to protect them. You know, it's like a mafia king that, you know, everybody, you know, will sacrifice in order for him to stay in power, so he can be a protector of everyone in that family. So that is why we took those wounds from certain family members, so we could be the one to step up, gain our powers from this sacrifice and struggle we endured from the family in order to gain those powers. But those powers are then used to spiral back and benefit that physical family. This is what they told me with my mom, because I was the sacrificial lamb of my family, and it was my. And when I moved from my hometown in Omaha, Nebraska, from my family to Atlanta, and when I first moved to Atlanta, and this was in 1987. So y'all know how long that's been. 1987, when I left Nebraska and moved to Atlanta, and Spirit inspired me to move to Atlanta. And when I moved to Atlanta, when I first moved there, I didn't know anybody. And then Spirit shut down my car, it shut down my phone. So I knew, I said, well, I guess I might as well go get in the bathtub because, you know, no phone, no visitors, nowhere to go. And so I went and got in the bathtub. I was inspired to do that because I was being taken on a soul's journey. And what they made me do when I got in that bathtub of water, they made me confront the hurt and the pain of how I was the one sacrifice when it came to the love that my mama demonstrated, between me and my siblings. I never got angry. I never got bitter behind that. And they said I had to. They said I had to confront my pain. They said I had to confront my anger. And once I got through expressing the hurt and the pain to my mom transitioned in 1983. My father transitioned in 1973. So once I confronted the pain and the hurt that I experienced with my mom, then they said, now you can heal. Now you can heal. And when they said, now you can heal, the first thing they went through was to my mom. They said, it hurt your mom. It hurt your spiritual mom to have to do this to you very much.
Wow.
But it had to be done in order for you to become who you needed to be. So that's when they explained to me, your physical family is your step family, and your spiritual family is your real and true family, your energy family. The daughter Earth is actually Cinderella. That is who the Cinderella story is about, daughter Earth. So that's where you can put it in context to the physical family being the step family versus the spiritual family being your true family. Because remember, Cinderella was an orphan. She lost her mother first. That's why that's why the father married the stepmother and the stepsister, and then he died. He passed away. So she was left at the mercy of the step family, or the physical family, the material family, the physical family, while her true parents were in the spiritual level. They were able to help her from the spiritual level, from the soul realm and the spiritual realm. Because what happens, there's 3 levels. We have the cosmic realm, the soul realm, mama's domain, antiquity, subconscious, ancestry, ancestors. Then we have the spiritual realm, that is father's domain, the conscious realm, your spiritual ancestors. You have spiritual ancestors and you have ancient ancestors, soul ancestors. The soul ancestors are what are on the cosmic realm. The spiritual ancestors are the one on the spiritual realm. The spiritual loved ones that made their transition in this lifetime, the ones that you're conscious of, are your spiritual ancestors. So they're on the front line. You don't lose them. They just shed their physical body. The physical body is the least important in this whole operation. We've been with these same ancestors, these same family members through many lifetimes with different bodies. It's not about the body. It's about the energy connections you make in different lifetimes as you bring it to this lifetime. And now, when you have your spiritual ancestors, are the ones family members that have transitioned in this lifetime, the ones you know of, the ones you're conscious of. They're the ones that goes on the front line spiritually as your spiritual ancestors. They have access to your soul ancestors and the magic and the powers of your soul ancestors. But it's your spiritual ancestors that are going to be the ones responsible for bringing that energy from the soul realm and channeling it to you on the physical level. The balance between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. Anywhere you balance opposites, it's where you create that vortex. So your spiritual ancestors are the ones that connects to you with access from the soul realm. They are bringing that energy as your spiritual ancestors to you as their vessel on ground level to energize. This is how we're stepping up as the new rulers. Now it's the creative powers that are going to blossom, not the material one. The material one is falling. The mama bird is trying to push the baby birds out of that proverbial material nest so they can find out they are liberated. They can fly. They no longer have the yoke of materialism keeping them grounded in the physical illusion. So we become too dependent on our material power that we're using it as a crutch and not opening up to the spiritual powers that are now in our access through our spiritual loved ones. So now all we have to do for this creative powers to blossom, to step up to our creative empowerment, we just call on our ancestors, the spiritual ones and the soul ones. And we say, which one of our ancestors have mastered in the creative technique of creating music? Who has mastered in the creative technique of creating a meal or dancing or writing? Whatever creative powers you want to manifest, now you call on your ancestors who've mastered already in those creative techniques, and they can now channel that energy to you to manifest it and materialize it as the vessel for that family energy at ground level. That is why the Gemini that we're in is so significant, because Gemini is the energy where you channel. Wherever your Gemini is at is where you channel. Channeling from your spiritual loved ones, your spiritual ancestors on the front line of the universe, your ancient ancestors, ready to access that energy and then channel that energy and balance to you from the physical to the spiritual level, so you can be the one to manifest that creative power at ground level. This is what we're getting ready to access as we hop the fence. And Spirit is telling me next year is when we hop that fence, next year. So when we hop that, because remember, you don't blend energy. So you aren't going to be able to straddle the fence. You're going to have to hop the fence from one half to the opposite half. It's balancing polarities. That's just how energy unfolds from a negative to a positive polarity. But you have to complete one half first before you activate the opposite half in equal measure. It's like temperature. Opposites are the same. They're just coming from opposite perspective. When do you cross from the hot half into the cold half, or the cold half into the hot half, or from the physical half into the spiritual half? We're getting ready to hop into the spiritual half. That means everything that we have sacrificed and struggled as the negative polarity through many lifetimes are being tallied up as our investment in how it's going to now be matched in opposite spiritual return, in spiritual reward and spiritual empowerment. But this is a kingdom rulership. Remember, Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. So this is the rulership where we're evolving from an abuse of power to a humanitarian empowerment. You're not going to qualify if you're trying to step up through egotistic power. You can't abuse this power. You're not, this is what this whole process has been about. It's been an alchemical process, teaching us how to use our powers righteously without abusing them. That is why the Super Bowl is what is demonstrated next year, because when we're looking at the fire axis from Leo, we're looking at the fire axis of energy. In the physical rotation, we're looking at from Aries to Leo to Sagittarius. But in the spiritual rotation, we're going to go from Leo to Aries to Sagittarius. And when we're looking at Leo, it's about the resurrection of the sun. Leo, resurrecting. It's time for us to resurrect as the creative rulers. And what we do is we resurrect into Aries, our Mars energy, Haru's energy. Haru is who they pattern their heroes after. So now Haru means in Aries, Aries is the most personal sign of the zodiac. So in Aries, we come to our full 360 degrees of personal power. That's how we step up as Haru. And then once the Harus all come together in their full 360 degrees of personal power, is how we then peak in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a SARS energy, where we come to the abundance, because the planetary ruler of a SAR is Jupiter. Jupiter, the great beneficent, whatever it touches, it brings in abundance. So stepping up into a SARS energy, he was cut down into those 14 cycles of time by the father of righteous thinking. So he would not be prone. He was the son most prone to abuse his power. So he had to be cut down into 14 cycles of time, because the only sin spiritually is the abuse of power. So he had to be cut down, since he was the son most prone to abuse his abundance of power, in order to mature and how to use that power righteously without abusing it. Father Spirit's role is righteous thinking. He's the one who challenges us to teach us how to think righteously. He challenges us, restricts us, and limits us, as you were asking about P. Diddy, because he may have been playing the role as Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster who challenges us, restricts us, and limits us, so we can prove that we can overcome those restrictions and limitations by staying true to our integrity. That is what Saturn does, is test us to see if we're going to overcome our restrictions and struggles by staying true to our integrity. And when we stay true to our integrity, that is how we pass the test of Saturn. And that is how he passes us over to Mama, who then kisses those wounds and boo-boos and make them magically okay. But Father is the one who challenges us just to see if we're going to overcome those challenges by staying true to our integrity and our character. You see, because we're not going to be allowed to step up to the abundance of our power if we're prone to abuse that power. We can't gain our full power, and then someone comes around and accidentally step on our toes, and we're like, how dare you? Don't you know who I am? Off with your friggin' head. That's what the universe is protecting us from, being able to step up in the abundance of power and then abuse that power. We're not going to be allowed to abuse our powers. When our predecessors abused their powers, they screwed up the world. If we abuse our power, it's going to be detrimental to the universe. So this has all been for us to learn how to use our powers righteously and not abuse that power. So that's why the Father of righteous thinking cut the sun down into 14 cycles in order to mature in how to use his powers righteously without abusing them. And this Super Bowl showed you that a SAR, Kansas City Chiefs, in this Super Bowl was playing the role of a SAR, Sagittarius energy. When they played the role of the Royal Indians, they were playing the role of Taurus. Taurus was because we got two energies for Kansas City, because it's Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. The Wakanda sat on the border of Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. Wakanda nations, which is the power of the ancient Royal Indians. So, and when Kansas City was playing the Royal Indians, they were doing the Taurus thing. But after 4 Super Bowls, out of 5 years, now they've become cocky. They become egotistical. And so now they're using their Sagittarius energy, their Asar energy. So it's for me to find out if Asar was going to use his powers righteously, or was Asar going to abuse his power? Well, he ended up abusing his power, which showed that he's still on the struggle half, the physical half of this process. He hasn't hopped the fence yet, because the emphasis on this Super Bowl was on the number 13. It was Super Bowl 58, when it adds up to 13, and they did an emphasis on the 13. The 49ers, add up 4 and 9, you get 13. The quarterback for the 49ers wore the number 13. Taylor Swift birthday is December 13th. So all these 13s was evident in this Super Bowl. And Kansas City did end up abusing their power. They used rituals. You see, they did rituals just to even get to the Super Bowl. There was a sacrifice on January the 8th. That stands out to me because that's my birthday, January the 8th. They did a ritual with 3 men ending up watching the playoff game on January the 7th. And they left later that night on January the 7th, and they found these men on January the 9th frozen to death. You know, so that means they were sacrificed on the 8th. So, and then we're in the 8th year, 2024 adds up to 8. So the number for transitioning from one level to the next level, the number for completion and fulfillment is the number 9. That's the vibration where we complete a level and start a new one at a higher vibration, the number 9. So that's what's going to be next year. When you add up 2025, you get the number 9. We're in the 9th year. And also now we will be looking at the 59th Super Bowl, which adds up to 14. The reason Asar abused his power because he had only came together in 13 pieces. The last piece was the penis. The 14th piece was the penis, where it indicates his resurrection into his full creative and abundant collective empowerment is that penis of resurrection, the 14th piece that we won't see until next year. So he was one iota outside of fullness, wholeness, and completion, which is still in an aberrant rotation. It's still not whole. It's still not real. So that's why we got a neon sign from this Super Bowl pointing at next year as the one where Asar puts on his penis or his resurrection into the abundance of his power. He has to become complete and he has to become whole. He has to put on that 14th piece. Also, there's a movie, which probably a lot of you have seen already, called They Live. And in that movie, it's dealing with this Leo sun as we're evolving and exposing a real, true rulership. And remember what else is being exposed, you guys. It's a lot more being exposed here right now. You think about what Russia did and what Russia exposed. Think about other things that are being exposed, you know, and understand that that's because this is the time of exposure. Leo, as part of this evolutionary process, everything's being exposed so that we can cleanse and purge and purify and heal and step up as the new rulers for the new Aquarian age. And the movie They Live lends to that fact, because in this movie, the man finds a box of sunglasses, and when he puts the sunglasses on, it exposes to him the reality that we're really living in. All the subliminals are exposed, all the aliens that are in the human bodies being exposed. Everything being exposed. That's what that movie They Live was showing us through those sunglasses, exposing what's been hidden, illusionary, that's not real. And the thing that really tops that off is at the end of that movie, they're in the basement, they're underneath, they're underground, where they're doing their celebration, the aliens and the humans that have sold out. They're down there celebrating the fulfillment of this agenda, and they acknowledge as well that this will be completed in the year 2025. This movie was made in the 1980s. For them to come up with the 2025.
Wow.
And that's what I got from the Super Bowl. Wow. I feel like there's a neon. And then we got the eclipse. That also indicated the crossover. And
connecting the dots.
Yeah, connecting the dots. The crossover. Now, when we Virgo is a pivotal point, because there's two ways. You have a personal way with Virgo and you have a collective way. I already told you the collective way, where you do Taurus first, where you personally go in, define within yourself your own self-value and self-worth. That's what you do with Taurus. They took Taurus, the sign of values, turned it into materialism. So you gauge your value based on what you possess materially. That's the external, materialistic use of the Taurus energy, the sign of values. The real use of the Taurus energy is to go internal. Earth and water are internal, and define your own self-worth and self-value from within. And once you do that through Taurus, the next earth sign, Virgo, is where you then cleanse and purify of false values to the matrix. After you went internal and define your own value and self-worth from within, then you cleanse and purify through the second earth sign, Virgo. Virgo is where you unplug from the matrix, where then you can access the last earth sign, Capricorn, where you step up to the integrity and the character of the highest value as the high priestess, as the princess of the royal family through the cardinal sign of Capricorn, the last cardinal sign. That is the collective way. The individual way through Virgo, Virgo being the last sign in the physical half. You got Leo and Virgo, the last two signs in the physical half. And that is where the Virgin Mama, Virgo, cleanses and purifies the Leo sun of false values to the matrix and unplugs from the matrix, and now can ascend above the horizon line to the spiritual half through Libra, where you now get into an individual partnership with your own spirit through Libra. And I already mentioned that once you get into your individual partnership with your own spirit through Libra, you come to your individual christhood, and then you come to balance with other twin souls that are in balance with their spirit, and that is how you then bond through Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of bonding. So the next energy after Libra is Scorpio, where you'll now bond as twin souls. Once you've gotten in balance with your own spirit, then you bond as twin souls through Scorpio. The intensity, and Scorpio being a water sign, emotional. So the intensity of that emotional bonding of the twin souls activates the transformation, which the Mayans call the crossover, that crosses you over to the great creative place of Sagittarius, where you come to the abundance of your creative powers and access your blessings. So there's two pivotal points from Virgo, where we collectively, from the earth element, from Taurus to Virgo to Capricorn, and then there's the individual, where you ascend after you've been cleansed and purified of false values. The Virgin Mama cleanses and purifies that Leo sun, where he can now ascend above that horizon line into the spiritual half through Libra and get into that partnership with your own spirit. Now, Libra is the sign of peace. So that means once you have gotten in partnership with your spirit, and once you've done everything you know to do, once you've done everything you know to do, that is when you pass that baton to your spirit. You tag your spiritual partner. You come out of the ring, your spirit goes in the ring, symbolically. It will access the energy from the universe that will match the investment you've made on the physical half. And when it's matched the investment as your spiritual partner, that is when you're ready to complete and fulfill your purpose. So partnering with your spirit, that's the only thing you need to do right now, is get into that equal partner to our spirit. We all talk about, yeah, I'm already in tune with my spirit, but we're giving lip service to our spirit. We have to be in equal partnership with our spirit. We've already done our half. You don't blend energy. We've been the half of sacrifice and struggle. Now we got to let spirit do its half. It's the half that knows. It's the half that can look around corners you can't. It's the half that has access to the subconscious, your spiritual ancestors, that can access that soul realm. So now that is the partner that needs to take the wheel right now. We've been driving. Now it's time for our spirit to drive. It's time for the physicality to take the back seat to our spirit. Your spirit is going to be your opposite sign. That is the energy that's going to represent your spiritual energy. And now you have to pass that baton and let your spirit position you to step you up to this next level. It does that through that Taurus Scorpio axis of energy on that fixed cross, transforming your values, stepping you up to a new level. Your spirit is the one that's going to position you, guide you, teach you, and prove all this to you. I always tell people how to tell the difference between when your spirit is guiding you and when your own mind is guiding you. It's a difference. They're both air elements. So it can be confusing. How do I know when it's my own mind versus my spirit? The way you know is that the more bizarre you get your message, the more you know it's your spirit, because it's trying to adapt you to an opposite reality. Spirit is opposite the physical. It's going to seem bizarre. It's going to seem crazy. Your mind is programmed to logic and reason. So your mind is going to be the one programmed with logic and reason. Your spirit is going to take you beyond logic and reason. Your spirit is going to give you a message that is bizarre to catch your attention. The more bizarre you get the message, the more you know it's your spirit. Like I tell people, you could be riding down the street with a question on your mind and a billboard pops up and answer it. That is spirit. Or you could wake up in the middle of the night, look at the clock, get a numerology message, get up that morning, get in your car, drive down your street, and then a car pulls in front of you with those same numbers on its license plate. That is spirit. That is how spirit catches your attention. And that is when it's guiding you in symbolism. So you have to now trust the things you've been taught not to trust in this land of logic and reason. That's how we've been programmed, in logic and reason. Now you have to go beyond your logic and reason. And it's your spirit that's going to put you there, give you the demonstration, give you the guidance, give you the proof. It's your spirit's half that's going to do that. It's not trying to teach you to know. So stop trying to figure it out. Once you pass that baton to your spirit, you sit back secure and at peace. And let your spirit do its half. Let your spirit prove its half. That's where it'll show you the magic. But if you think you can figure it out for yourself, what do you need mama's magic for? So you got to know that it was futile, that there was nothing more you could know to do before your spirit connected you to your soul realm and the magic of your ancestors in order to prove that it is now what your spirit is bringing to the table, and it's half of the operation. So your spirit is going to be the one. It doesn't want you to know. It doesn't want you to try to figure it out, because if you think you know, then you get in the way. Well, shouldn't this be going on over here? Shouldn't something be happening over there? And when it doesn't happen the way you think you know it's supposed to happen, that's when you get disillusioned. And that's when you start entertaining doubts, fears, and guilt. That's when you undermine the process through doubts, fears, and guilt. Your spirit is not trying to get you to know. What your spirit is trying to prove to you is how you can trust your spirit to have your back, to look around corners you can't, to pull your coattail when it's time for you to make your move. I always tell people following your spirit is as easy as moving out on what you feel till you run up on a brick wall. That's your spirit way of saying make a turn here, and you continue to move to the next brick wall, make another turn. We keep trying to beat down the brick wall rather than following the guidance of our spirit. And when we follow the guidance of our spirit, it will prove to you that it's got your back, that you don't have nothing to worry about. Your spirit is the one that's responsible for positioning where you need to be, to proving to you this process. And your spirit is the one that's going to show you this. So a partnership with your spirit, and now it needs to take the lead. So doesn't want you to know, it wants you to learn how to trust your spirit. That's what it's going to prove to you, that you can trust your spirit to have your back, position you, put you where you need to be to step up to a new level. But all this is based on the spiritual principles of righteousness. That's the thing they're guarding against. You're not going to be able to use this power abusively. You're not going to be able to use this power egotistically. It's not going to work for you in that vein. But if you're standing up in righteousness, then you have nothing to wonder about. You can't be a tentative ruler. You can't send your power out and look over your shoulders and wonder if it's going to happen. You have to be secure in that rulership. Right. That is why you have to be secure from within. The earth element, the first prerequisite to stepping up as a royal ruler, is being secure from the internal and a larger universal purpose being fulfilled. And we're just the individual vessels to manifest that energy at ground level or ground zero, the boots on the ground. So
wow.
Getting in partnership with your spirit. Don't abuse your power. Don't abuse your magic. Don't abuse your rituals. Trust your spirit. Talk to your spirit whenever you're confused, whenever you're trying to understand how to do what you need to do. Ask your spirit. That's the only one who knows. And your spirit is the one who will figure out the way to best bring you the message for you to understand the unique language that is creating between you and your spirit. Your spirit is the one that's responsible. What it's going to show you is the results you got when you walked on your own versus the results you're about to get as you walk in partnership with your spirit.
Partnership.
Out of the wrong path, you see. So,
Myrah, you was channeling.
Yeah, I have a Gemini moon. I have a Gemini moon, and we're in Gemini, so I'm most definitely channeling. That's how I channel what Mama feels, and then communicate it. Gemini is the sign of communication. Communicate. So yeah, I'm in my element of communication through my Gemini moon channeling. Yes.
I can't. Yeah, the people in the chat, they definitely enjoyed this live. That just partnership with your spirit is something I'm gonna keep that with me the rest of my life, y'all. And when they say, words, and sometimes people say things that are worth more than any amount of money you could get. And that game right there, that those words, that wisdom right there, to be in partnership with your higher self. That's something we pass down to our children, fam. That's something I'm gonna pass down to my son.
Yes.
So, Sister Myrah, board it. I can't wait to see you in August in Atlanta.
Wonderful, because it's going to be so much more. All this stuff is unfolding and developing, and we're in the crutch of it. So, you picked the right time, Leo, because that is the time of exposure. So, yes, we're going to be gathering as masters.
One more time before we get out of here tonight, and I seen somebody ask for Sister Myrah Cash App. I'm about to share that. Let me put that in the chat right now. Well, let me say this first because I'm moving fast. For those who came in late, it's going down, y'all. The conference of all conference, the gatherings of all gatherings, the meetings of all meetings, gathering of the masses is going down. This is the biggest lineup I have ever put together. This is going to be the biggest event in the spiritual community, conscious community, whatever term you want to use to describe spirituality being shared collectively. This is going to be the biggest moment ever right here, family. Sister Myrah will be speaking live in person on Saturday, August 10th. She will be speaking. Dr. Ju Pukram will be speaking. Queen of Four will be speaking. Those lineup of queens right there, y'all. Oh my. The elders, you know how much wisdom amongst the three of them. That is like, to have the three of them speaking on the same, that is like, oh, that's a dream come true for me, y'all. Like, my dreams are coming true. Y'all know this conference is a dream come true for me. This is not just about me putting it. This is a dream come true for me to put this together. This isn't easy, y'all. If it was, everybody would be doing stuff like this. This is not easy. This is part of my assignment that I'm fulfilling. And I wish y'all, you know what? I was watching this UFC fighter, and I'm gonna say this quick. And he said, I wish y'all could feel this happiness that I feel right now by pursuing my purpose in life. I feel that I wish y'all could feel my happiness I feel right now by pursuing my purpose in life and by putting together a paradigm shifting event like this that the world has never seen before. I wish y'all could feel my happiness right now. And I'm going to feel this again and again and again. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's also on the flyer, gatheringofthemasses.eventbrite.com. The price for the entire weekend is $111. Extremely reasonable to have masters on both days. Besides these individuals, let me just say this real quick. Besides these speakers right here, in the building also that weekend, will be B-Dell, Infadishi, Roz Ben, Hank Rise's son, Minister Jew, Soleil, Professor Griff, A.A. Rashid, KT the Arts Degree, Brother Sharif Bey, Blue Pill, Red Pill, and more. I mean, everybody is going to be there. The energy is going to be on 1,000 this weekend. What time are we starting? It says, I don't know if you can see. The doors open up at 12:30. The speaking will start around 2 o'clock. And we'll take a couple of breaks in between each speaker, and we're ending at 9. But doors will open up around 12:30. Speaking will start around 2 o'clock. But family, remember, this is limited seating. This is in person. Don't wait. I know people gonna come there looking for a ticket, and it may not be there, family. Get your ticket early. First come, first serve. Get your ticket, family. This is the event of a lifetime. Where do we get our tickets early, Brother Rich? I got the link. It's pinned at the top of the chat. You go to the top of the chat, there's a link, and there's also a website on the flyer, but it's pinned at the top of the chat. So it's going to be magnificent. Let me share right now. Let me share Sister Myrah's Cash App. Make sure y'all support this sister and hit up. What's your give me a Cash App again, Sister Myrah?
The $sign MYRA MOSS and the number's 813.
Okay, Myrah Moss 813.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Make sure your support.
No H. No H.
No, I didn't put an H. No H.
Yeah, no, you just got, I'm looking at the Sistar Myrah rather than the Cash App. Sorry, Brother Rich.
So the Cash App
that's
the
correct.
Cash App is $sign MYRAMOSS 813.
Yes.
Make sure you support Sister Myrah. I mean, the sister, they was in the chat like, oh, she in that rocket chair. They was like, that's that rocket chair with
when I get to rocking, that's when I get in spirit. You'll see me rocking.
Rhythm.
I gotta move. I'm in spirit then.
Oh yeah.
That's when I'm channeling. You picked that up, Brother Rich.
Oh, I could tell you was in the zone. And I definitely I appreciate you coming on here today, and I appreciate you coming to Atlanta in August. I look forward to I definitely want to have you on one more time before August, before the actual event. So I'm definitely going to invite you on again before we do the event. But anything else you want to share with the family?
Just my pleasure. You know, this is a momentous time, you guys. Stepping up. We're stepping up to the old has to go in order for the new to blossom. That's Scorpio's role. Transformation. Tear down the old for a rebuild of the new. So don't worry about what's falling down. And remember, you are protected. You're a royal being. No matter what's happening. I did a presentation in Houston when I first started my lecture series. And I did a lecture called Apocalypse Now. How do we contribute? And in this lecture, I told people, I don't care what chaos is raging right outside your window. You don't blink. You don't even flinch. Your lack of fear is your lamb's blood, and the chaos will pass you over. There's no fixing this. There's no propping it up. There's no making it work. It needs to fall. And you have to show you have no stake in keeping up this illusionary. And that is how the chaos will pass you over. Get you a bag of popcorn and get you a chair. Sit back, cross your legs, watch the show. Don't worry about what's happening out there. Not going to be able to touch you if you know. If you believe they can get you, yes, they can get you. But if you know they can't touch you, they can't touch you. Remember, hammer time. You see.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Oh, family, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sister Myrah, thank you, family. Thank you for tuning in. This is Brother Rich. See you next time, family. Signing out. Peace, everybody.
Peace.